Katie Hendricks, and I'm back again with more integrity deck cards. We have been creating and sharing these cards for several years now, and I'm just getting videos made of all of the suggestions that we make to people. And this one is from the Conscious Communication deck and pillar, and it's really more of an advanced skill. So it looks at the beginning like it's easy, but I notice that this particular skill is one that people need a little bit more practice with. And that is basically tracking, is what I'm saying actually landing over there. And the way that I'm communicating, if I've got my whole body turned toward and I'm listening and I'm focusing on my communication landing, what does that look like and how do I do that? And so this card, which has got a lovely collage with some very curious creatures and a couple who are turning toward each other, that's to give you a hint of the basic skill. So here's what it sounds like as a sentence. I physically turn toward others with an open posture and breath, so both an open posture and an open breath, and I can sense how my communications are being received. So this is really a two-parter. So most people have what we sometimes call drive-by loving, that they're kind of, oh yeah, I love you, babe, and bye, and or, oh yeah, I got that, and then completely forget what the other person has said. Or they get out ahead of the communication, so they become what I call an anticipator. And that was one of the things that I did when Gay and I first got together. I would be so much wanting to have him like me that I would try to anticipate what he was going to say, and I actually finished his sentences. And that habit I really worked on, just listening and receiving, and then breathing and responding. And it's amazing how few people really know how to do that. So that's a great thing to start with. And the question here is, in what ways can I give active awareness to how my communications are landing with others? So over the years, I've gathered a few very specific suggestions that make a really big difference. One is to let yourself breathe. It's amazing how often people stop breathing when they're listening to someone else, and that creates a sense of anxiety inside, and could be even a little bit of fear. And I think that leads to people anticipating or interrupting or jumping in or interpreting rather than reflecting what the other person is saying. So the skill that we call loop of awareness is really valuable here, where you simply give attention to the other, and then you give attention to you. This is a good place where you can notice your breathing and whether your posture is still open or you've gotten all scrunched up. And then you give your attention back to them. You pause before you say something. It's really amazing how often people, it's almost like driving if you're right up on the other person's bumper. If you give a little bit of space and then respond, it allows you to really let them know that you're respecting their pace. Are they finished? And another thing that you can do that people rarely do is ask. So here's what here's what I was hearing. Is that accurate? So you can check. But the actual act of, it's like a ping pong game, where you listen and then you listen to yourself and then you listen. And then here's what I'm hearing. Is that landing? And it allows you to flow with the conversation and letting it unfold, because your attention is really the engine of discovery. Not what you say, but your intention to be with the other person as they're communicating. So I hope those are helpful for you in your communication skills. And there are lots of ways to practice that you can find on our foundation website.